Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Srila Prabhupada ki, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki, Gaur Premanande. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda. Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda. Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda. Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Today we are reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Aadi Lila, text first chapter, Spiritual Masters, text number 92 and 93. तार मध्ये मोक्षवांछा कैतव प्रदाना याहा हैते कृष्ण भक्ति हया अंतर्धाना तार मध्ये मोक्षवांछा कैतव प्रधाना याहा हैते कृष्ण भक्ति हया अंतर्धाना तार मध्ये मोक्षवांछा कैतव प्रधाना याहा हैते कृष्ण भक्ति हया अंतर्धाना. Please chant. Matajis? Tara of them, Madhye in the midst, Mokshavancha, the desire to merge into the Supreme, Kaitava of cheating process, Pradhana, the chief, Yaha Haite, from which Krishna Bhakti, devotion to Lord Krishna, Haya becomes Antardhana, disappearance. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The foremost process of cheating is to desire to achieve liberation by merging into the Supreme, for this causes the permanent disappearance of loving service to Krishna. Purport: the desire to merge into the impersonal Brahman is the subtlest type of atheism. As soon as such atheism, disguised in the dress of liberation, is encouraged, one becomes completely unable to traverse to the path of devotion service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Pra shabdena mokshabhi sandhir api nirastaha iti. The prefix pra in the verse of Srimad Bhagavatam indicates that desire for liberation is completely rejected. Purport: this is an annotation by Sridhar Swami, the great commentator of Srimad Bhagavatam. Om ajnanatimidandasya jnananjana salakaya chakshurmilitam yena tasmai Shri Guruve namaha. Shri Chaitanya manobishtam sthapitam yena bhutale swayam rupa kada mahyam dadati swapadantikam vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangam lamyate giram yatkripa samande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhava Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Namah Pankajanabhaya Namah Pankajamalini Namah Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangre. Hare Krishna. Some of you must be thinking, अरे अभी अभी दिया class, वापस कैसा बिठा दिया उसका, right? Somebody must be thinking, अरे he is giving so many classes, I am not getting chance. दादागिरी कर रहे हैं ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. I am ATS, ATS, ATC means anytime class. Like anytime ATM they have, no, anytime. So one devotee was supposed to give Hari Parshad Prabhu or somebody. So Hemgiri Prabhu asked before Mangalarti, can you give class? I said, because he is not able to come. I said, no problem. दाने दाने पे खाने वाले नाम निकाले. Like that, whoever is just trying to give class, I was thinking, अरे बहुत दिन हो गया चैतन्य चैतन्य class नहीं दिया मैंने. So anyway, I could not prepare much, but this is a very famous topic. In this verse, it's a very, very important verse. Dharma projita kaitavatra paramodema sharanam satam. All of you should remember this verse. This pra means completely rejected. There are many people, especially these in India, dadiwalas, this ananda, that ananda, they are respected very highly in the society. But actually, according to Chaitanya Charitamrita and Prabhupada, they are the greatest cheaters. right? One who is desiring to merge with the Brahman is a worse than a resident of hell. Better to go to hell than attain liberation. Yeah? Better to go to hell than attain liberation. You know why? Huh? Huh? Spiritual is because it is spiritual suicide. How many of you know, in order to go to hell, you have to be a pious man? Vishnu Tattva, you know? Huh? You know? Yes or no? India, yeah, if you do like this, it is yes, you know. How many of you know? In order to go to hell, you have to be a pious man. In Garuda Purana, it is mentioned that when somebody dies, the soul hovers around for 13 days. So Yamadutas, they come to pick up the soul, and Yamadutas, they stay for 13 days in the house. So that is why when the son performs Pindadan, he has to make it into 3 parts. One is for making Pinda Sharir, you know, whatever. For the soul to take the, you know, for them to take the soul to the hell. Another, for Yatan Sharir. One part should be given to Yamadutas. Yamadutas. Suppose if that person is not pious and he did not have a son who believes in these Shraddha Karmas and performs all this, you know, Shraddha Karmas and all, right? For 13 days he has to do. Because Yamadutas are not getting food to eat, they will leave the soul and go away. They will leave the soul and go away. And the soul hovers around without a body, because in order to get the next body, the Yamadutas have to take the soul to hellish planet and then present him before Yamaraj, and then Yamaraj will judge which body he will get. But if the soul is not only taken to the court, how will he get the body? So in order to go to hell, you have to be pious. Otherwise, you will hover around. Not you, not all of us, those karmis. So it is so like we have seen, right? These other day in Bhagavatam class it is discussed, right? When Krishna went to hellish planet and blew the conch. How many of you heard that? Right? Blew the conch. You know, they were all being burnt in oils and all that, and they're suffering so much. As soon as Krishna, at the doorway of the hellish planets, took his Panchajanya conch and then blew the conch, all the souls from hellish planets are transferred to Vaikuntha. All the souls. Right? This availability is not there for Mayavadis. Why? Because they don't want. They know, but they don't want. Right? Because, you know, people in hellish planets may be sinners, but they are not offenders of Krishna. But these Mayavadis are Mayavadi Krishna Paradi. Right? Mayavadi Krishna Paradi. Right? Even Srila Prabhupada actually sometimes quoted from Sri Shankaracharya's commentary on Bhagavad Gita. Is a very famous commentary. If you read the introductory part of Bhagavad Gita, commentary by Sri Shankaracharya, he very elaborately spoke about Narayana Paravyokta. You know, Prabhupada many times he quoted. Right? Very beautiful things he wrote about Krishna in the introduction. Then later on all Mayavadi conclusion. But Antakalacha Mameva Smaran Mukta Kalevaram Ya Prayati Smadbhavam Yati Nasti Atra Samsheha. In the purport to that verse, Shankaracharya wrote that Krishna is Parama Utkrishta. He is the supreme. So one should remember only Krishna at the time of death. So based on this, some of them accuse Shankaracharya as that he is a Vaishnava. But actually Prabhupada wrote in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he is a covered Vaishnava. Shankaracharya is a covered Vaishnava. But he had to present this Mayavad philosophy. It's a very, very dangerous philosophy. It's a atheism, actually. Atheism. Right? Atheism. Once Srila Prabhupada was speaking in Boston University, that MIT. So one person, he was actually arguing with Prabhupada, one Indian. He is arguing with Prabhupada that everything is one, everything is one. Prabhupada caught hold of his collar and he was shaking him. Said, the thread and the shirt are the same? That shirt you are wearing, these threads and the shirt are the same? All the threads? Like that. Prabhupada was very angry. Then Prabhupada said, atom bomb is waiting for these Mayavadis. Right? So, we should not make friendship with Mayavadis. Now ISKCON, everything is one. So they are making, we should not make friendship with Mayavadis. Prabhupada said, even a Mahabhagavat will fall down if you associate with a Mayavadi. Right? So this Mayavad philosophy is very, a simple person with a simple knowledge of Sanskrit. One doesn't need any big scholarship to defeat Mayavad philosophy. If you know, all of you, I request, memorize all the verses from 2.11 to 2.30. How many of you know? Ashocha and Anvashochastam, Prajnavadan Shubhashase, up to Ashcharyavat Pashyati Kashidenam. Right? If you know all these verses along with the meanings, you can give up lamentation. Right? The science of the soul is described by Krishna. Right? Learn Bhagavad Gita, brahmacharis. They should learn, second chapter at least. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Achedyoyam adahyoyam akledyo shoshayevacha nityaha sarvagata sthanur achaloyam sanatana avyaktoyam achintyoyam avikaryoyam uchyate tasmadenam viditvainam natvam shochitum arhasi. If you know these two verses, you can, Prabhupada, achedyoyam means, unbreakable, Adahyoyam means which cannot be burnt. Akledya means insoluble. Akledya is insoluble. Then, achedyoyam, adahyoyam, akledya, shoshayevacha. It cannot be dried. Nityaha, eternal. Nitya, sarvagata. Sarvagata means all pervading. Sthanur means fixed. Then sanatana, eternally same. Prabhupada translated this word as eternally same. Then avyaktoyam, means invisible. Avyaktoyam, achintyoyam, inconceivable. Avikaryoyam, unbreakable. Right? This I am, this soul. Right? So Prabhupada mentions that this soul, it is said that eternally same. That means this Mayavadi's conception of monism, of the soul merging with the super soul, is not correct. Because the soul is eternally part and parcel and is eternally same. Eternally same. Right? Avyaktoyam means it is invisible because it is so small, 1/10,000th of a tip of a hair. Achintyoyam, it is inconceivable because we cannot actually perceive it with our material eyes. Right? And then avikaryoyam, unchangeable. Avikaryoyam is unchangeable. So Prabhupada writes in the purport that from this we can understand that the soul is unchangeable because, according to Shiva Vaishnava concept, that there are two Vedas. One is Jiva Paramatma Veda and then Jiva Jiva Veda. Right? Jiva Jiva Veda also is there. How do we know Jiva Jiva Veda? How do we know that you are different from me? Prabhupada gave this example that suppose you give $1 million to each one of us or so many other people. Right? Each one of us may spend the money differently. Why? Because every soul in every body is an individual soul, and then we have our own desires. We have our own conception. That is where there is a clash amongst all of us. Sometimes we fight. Why? Because we are all individual souls. So, Prabhupada mentions, because the soul is unchangeable, so this conception that the soul goes and mixes with the super soul and becomes one with the supreme soul is completely wrong, because Krishna is infinite soul. We are all infinitesimal souls. We are small, Krishna is, we are Anu, Krishna is Vibhu. So we can never become one with the God. Right? Then Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Brahmano hi pratisthaham. Right? Amrutasya avyayasya cha. Right? So Krishna says, this Brahman, I am the basis of this Brahman. Right? So people, they think that, Prabhupada writes that they cannot merge with Krishna, but they merge with the effulgent rays that are emanating from Krishna's body. And that Brahman, Krishna is the basis. Right? 13th chapter also, Krishna says, Jnaya yattat pravakshami yajnatva amritamasnute anadi mat param brahma nasattan nasaduchyate. I am going to tell you about something after knowing which you will experience nectar. Then, anadi mat param brahma. This Brahma is imperishable, beginningless, and subordinate to me. And he is beyond cause and effect, that Brahman. So that Brahman, Krishna, that is effulgent rays of Krishna. So merging with the liberation means merging with the that Brahman rays. So somebody asked Srila Prabhupada, then we have seen, right? How many? All of you must know this verse, right? Everybody, all of us should know, right? Prabhupada quoted this most often quoted verse, Enye Arvindaksha. How many of you know this verse? Enye, bolo. Enye Arvindaksha, Vimuktamaninas, Tvayastha Bhava, Avisuddha Buddhayaha, Aruya Kruchrena, Parampadam Tataha, Patanti Adha, Anadrita, Yushmadangrayaha. Right? So, how many times, right? So many, Prabhupada, your favorite verse, right? This is a verse from 10th canto, chapter 2, prayers by demigods. Right? Because, after performing severe austerities and penances, Vimukta Manina, they think that they have become liberated, but actually they are not. They will fall down, my dear Lord, because they have not attained taste, they have not developed the taste for your lotus feet. That's why they must fall down. Prabhupada says, somebody asked Prabhupada, why they fall down? Does everybody fall down? Prabhupada said, why one devotee asked Prabhupada, why do they fall down? Then Prabhupada said, because they feel lonely. Kya karne ka hai, right? Prabhupada says, when we are bound, we are so active. When the soul becomes liberated, how active we will be? Then you are, merging that soul. That is why Prabhupada said, it is a spiritual suicide. Vritrasura's wonderful prayers in 6th Canto Bhagavatam. That also we have to remember. Nanaka Prishtam, Nacha Paramestyam, Na Sarvabhaumam, Na Rasadipatyam, Na Yoga Siddhir, Apunar Bhavamba, Samanjasaye Virahaya Kanksha. In this regard, in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments that Na Naka Prishtam means Prabhupada translated as Dhruvalokas. Dhruva's planet. Na Naka Prishtam, Nacha Parameshtyam, Brahmaloka. Na Sarvabhaumam, King Chakravarti on this planet. Na Rasadipatyam, like Bali Maharaj, king of hellish planets. Na Yoga Siddhir, not these 8 kinds of Ashta Siddhis. Na Punarbhavamba, I don't want liberation. Right? Samanjasaya, Virahaya Kanksha, if I have to become separated from you. Right? Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments in this regard that this is according to hierarchy, this is there. The highest benediction is, if you want to ask some benediction from the Lord, highest benediction is Dhruvaloka, then Brahmaloka, then Sarvabhauma, then Rasadipatyam, then Astasiddhis. And the least desired thing is liberation. Least desired thing, liberation. So, devotees, they never desire liberation. We should never desire. It is a pishachi, These material desire for sense enjoyment and desire for merging with the Brahman, both are pishachi. They are ghosts. They will, devour you. So we should never, right? We should never actually, that is why, avajananti mamudha manushim tanumashritam parambhavam ajananto mamabhuta maheshwaram mogasha mogakarmanam mogajnana vichesasaha rakshasim asurim chaiva prakritim mohinim shrita. So, the two most criticized personalities are Krishna and Rama. Their only mistake is they have assumed the form of a human body. People deride me, foolish people, they deride me when I appear in the human form. They don't know my transcendental nature and the controller of all the beings. Right? There is an elaborate purport by Srila Prabhupada. You can read. The next verse, Prabhupada wrote a beautiful purport. Please remember these words. Prabhupada says, Prabhupada says that sometimes some devotees may be practicing Krishna consciousness and they think themselves to be devotees. But if they don't accept Krishna as the absolute truth, their hopes of going back to Godhead are defeated. Right? Are defeated. Then those people who are performing karma kanda and those people who think that they want to merge with, they want to attain liberation, their hopes also are defeated. Right? Are defeated. Because they think that Krishna is an ordinary person. And then, so then Prabhupada writes in the last para of that purport that anybody who thinks that Krishna's body is made of matter, he should be ostracized from all ritualistic and pious activities. If you happen to see that person, we should take bath, savastra, in Ganga. In Ganga. So, then such people, they have taken shelter of demoniac and atheistic views. They think that they have, they know more, and then they deride Krishna. So these two things are, for devotees, we have to accept Krishna as the absolute truth. And then sometimes we should, Prabhupada says that, okay, all these Mayavadis, they think that for the time being, because we cannot meditate on the impersonal Brahman, we can assume some form of Krishna, and then after that, you can reject. Then because you are going to merge with the Brahman and then all that. So this is a very dangerous. So then Prabhupada concludes in the purport, such people, right? Even if they are worshipping the deity, if they think that Krishna, deity is a stone, or if somebody thinks that Krishna's body is made of matter, he will have to take birth in demonic and atheistic species of life. Very dangerous. Mogasha, Mogajnana, Vicheta Saha. So, so we have to accept, Krishna as absolute truth. How do we know that we have received the mercy of Krishna? Anybody can tell? How do we know that we have received the mercy of Krishna?
By association of devotees.
Atapite deva padambujadvayam prasad lesanugrahita dhimahi janati tattvam bhagavan mahimno nachanya ekopi chiran vichinvan. When this is a beautiful pastime where all of you know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he saw Lord Jagannath, then he fainted. Then Sarvam Bhattacharya then brought him to his house. And then Gopinath Acharya, he came, and then then all this thing happened. Then Mahaprabhu came back to consciousness, and then all that stuff. Then Sarvam Bhattacharya said, this sannyasi is very young and looking very handsome. He belongs to lower sampradaya of Shankara Sampradaya. What nonsense! Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is not dependent. So, Sarvam Bhattacharya is so proud that I will reinitiate him. Because they think that Saraswati Sampradaya, Jayendra Saraswati and all, they are the highest Sampradaya. Then Puri, then some other Sampradaya, this very highest Sampradaya, and then this Bharati and all lower Sampradaya. So I will reinitiate him and then make him a Saraswati Sampradaya, sannyasi. So Gopinath Acharya said, what nonsense you are talking? He is Supreme Personality of Godhead. He doesn't need all your nonsense, reinitiation and all. He is not depending on lower Sampradaya, higher Sampradaya. So Prabhupada writes, they say that everything is one, then why there is a Taratamya? This Bharati Sampradaya is lower and Saraswati Sampradaya is higher. This concept, very difficult to give it up. Vedha, only Krishna has equanimity. Otherwise, everybody, others cannot have, all the, this. In ISKCON also we have, right? Guru Bhai. Mera Guru Bhai hai to post de do, prasad khila do, dusra hai to माला भी मत पहनाओ, राइट? ऐसा, राइट? इसका बहुत चलता है ना, मेरा गुरु भाई. But we are all devotees of Krishna, right? Why this difference? But it is there. Very difficult, for some to give up, this concept of mera admi, uska admi, right? Bheda bhav. Why this bheda bhav happens? Prahlad Maharaj says, I am offering obeisance to the Supreme Personality of Godhead by the influence of whose energy we think that he is my enemy, he is my friend. If you think that he is my friend, if you think that so and so is my enemy, it is because of the influence of the illusory energy of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, Vedbhav, everybody, they have this Vedbhav. Right? So then, this Gopinath Acharya, then they are having discussion that he is the Supreme Personality, Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then Sarvam Bhattacharya said, there is no incarnation in Kali Yuga. But Gopinath Acharya said, there is no Lila avatar. But then he quoted verse from Prahlad Maharaj's prayers. This is Channa avatar. Hidden incarnation. Then this is, then the Sarvam Bhattacharya's disciples, they have challenged. What is the proof? Right? What is the proof? Then Gopinath Acharya challenged. You cannot understand all these things. Mahaprabhu as a Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then he quoted this verse. Atapite dev padam pujadvayam prasad lesana dhimahi janati tattvam bhagavan mahino. Nachanya eko pichiran vichinvan. He said, unless somebody gets at least a speck of mercy from Krishna, you cannot understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, what is the proof that you received the mercy of the Lord? Then Gopinath Acharya said, because I accept Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Personality of God. That is the symptom. So how do we know that you got the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Bolo? Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? When Maharaj Prataprudra, he came to meet Sarvam Bhattacharya when he heard that Mahaprabhu has come. Then he was, simply by hearing about Mahaprabhu, he became very greatly attracted. Then Maharaj Prataprudra said, why did you allow him to go to, because by the time he left for South India Yatra. Then Sarvam Bhattacharya said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and he is completely independent. Prabhupada writes, this, whatever Acharya said, Sarvam Bhattacharya, whatever he said, Maharaj Prataprudra immediately accepted that Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is why he received the mercy. Right? That is why he received the mercy. So, one more instance, many times I told, Gunraj Khan, Satyaraj Khan, every year they would come and ask Mahaprabhu, what is the goal, what is the duty of a devotee, Vaishnava, all that. And then Mahaprabhu told, your grandfather, Gunraj Khan, he wrote a book, Krishna Vijaya. It is in a colloquial Bengali language he wrote. And he didn't follow all this Alankar, Vyakarana and all that. He just freestyle he wrote. In that book, Gunaraj Khan wrote one sentence, Nandanandan Krishna, more pranadana. Right? Krishna, son of Nanda Maharaj, he is my life and soul. My dear Satyaraj Khan, simply by writing this one sentence, he has purchased me. He won my heart. I will give you assurance that anybody who is born in Kulinagram, right? Anybody who is born in Kulinagram, I will give Krishna Prema to them. Not only to human beings, even to the dogs, I will give Krishna Prema to them because he has read one sentence. What is that? Nandanandan Krishna, more pranadana. Anybody who has taken birth in Kolkata, they will get Krishna Prema. Why? Because right? We should bring matti from, all of you please go there. It's a beautiful place now. Prabhupada birthplace. Take matti and eat, Prabhupada birthplace. Right? We'll definitely get Krishna Prem without, going through all this chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Right? Causeless mercy. Causeless mercy. Like that. Right? So this is the greatest blessing, greatest mercy that we have received from Prabhupada to accept this one sentence. Krishna is the supreme, absolute truth. His body is not material. Is absolute truth. Right? So if you don't accept Krishna as absolute truth, then all our hopes are ruined, will be ruined. Like that. Right? So all this, there are many, all of you know this pastime, that, this Sarvam Bhattacharya, where he, Tattenukampam, Susubikshamanam, Bunjanevatma, Kritam Vipakam, Hridvag Vidadan Namaste, Jivitaya, Muktipade, Sadayabhag. But he changed the word into Bhakti Pada. So when Mahaprabhu asked him, why are you changing? He said, I don't like this Mukti word, Mukti. Mahaprabhu said, you can't change the words of Bhagavatam. You can't change the words of Bhagavatam. They said, no, merging with the Supreme, this Brahman is like spiritual suicide. I don't want to hear the word Mukti. Then Mahaprabhu explained, Mukti Pada means all the liberations are at the lotus feet of Krishna. That is the meaning. So you don't have to change. No, I don't want to hear this. Mahaprabhu embraced, Hare, Sarvam Bhattacharya, kya ho gaya tumko, He's like a pattar, log of wood. All this, Kattarvadis, these Mayavadis, they are very hard-hearted people. Right? So, how you melted the heart? Gopinath Acharya said, Mahaprabhu, this is all your mercy. What happened? Right? When there is Narendra Sarovar, when the pastimes are taking place, Sarvam Bhattacharya and Ramanand Rai, they are throwing water on each other. Right? And then they said, what has happened to these jnanis? They are such, knowledgeable persons. They have become like children playing with, throwing water. So, I am like a hard-hearted log of wood. Mahaprabhu, this is your mercy that you melted my heart. It's all mercy of Lord Chaitanya. Right? So, like that. So, this is, we have to consider this. So that is why it is mentioned by a devotee of Krishna never wants to merge with the Brahman. It is a big type of cheating, right? So devotees, we also should consider that we should not aspire, liberation. Suppose we are suffering so much and all, so we should not, I am suffering so much, my dear Lord, mukti de do. Right? Kabhi puchne ka nahi. Mukti dene ka? Huh? We don't even like to go to Vaikuntha also. How many of you know this verse? Bolo? Shloka man? Huh? No. Strasti samipya. Diyamanam na vindanti vinamat sevanam. Lord Kapila says, my devotees, they don't even like these 5 kinds of liberation. If there is no seva is involved, they don't even like to go to Vaikuntha. When these Tattvavadis, when they are arguing with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, what is the goal of life? Then Tattvavadi sannyasi, they thought Mahaprabhu is some Mayavadi sannyasi. Then he said, they were not speaking to him properly. Then Mahaprabhu asked, what is the goal of life? Then they said, Varnashram Charavata, Purushana Parapumal. Then he said, by performing Varnashrama activities, one should satisfy Vishnu. Mahaprabhu rejected. There is something called Panchama Purushartha. Right? Panchama Purushartha. That is Krishna Prema, which can be achieved only by Shravanam Kirtana Vishnu, Navavida Bhakti. What you are doing is the Tattvavadis is actually adhering to Karma Kanda and then Jnana Kanda, which is rejected by pure devotees. You want liberation? You are doing karma kanda, karma is rejected. Perform only Navavida Bhakti. Right? Navavida Bhakti. So it is very important to stick to this process of Navavida Bhakti. So Mahaprabhu, then they said, oh Madhvacharya, our Sampradaya Acharya says all these things, that's why we accept. But what you are saying is correct. Okay? What you are saying is correct. Now with bhakti, perform devotional service, chanting and dancing. That is enough. Then you will get, right? Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam. You know what is meant to be alayam? Yeah? So, in that alayam means, laya means merging. Right? So, it is mentioned that you must hear Bhagavatam till the time alayam. Alayam means beyond laya, means beyond liberation. That means you must hear Bhagavatam till the time you get Krishna Prema. We should not be satisfied. Dharmartha, Kama Moksha. Beyond. You must hear Krishna Katha. That is why Maharaj, Prutu Maharaj offered very wonderful prayers. Varan Vibhotad Varadeshwara Buddha Katam Gunajno Gunavikriyamatmanaha Yannarakanam Pratiyanti Dehinaha Tanesha Kaivalyapate Vrininacha. My dear Lord, O best of the giver of the benedictions, why should I ask some benediction which is available even to the residents of the hell, that is sense gratification? Then, my dear Lord, you are the Lord of liberation. Yeah, also. Yeah, I am offering obeisances like that. Then Na kamayena tatapi aham kvachit nayatra yusmat charanambujashavaha mahattamantar mahan mukachyuto viditsakarnayatam eshamevaraha. He said, my dear Lord, I don't want that kind of liberation, which somebody merges with you, where the nectar of your wonderful pastimes of your lotus feet are not available. Nayatra yusmach charanambujasava. Nectar of, I don't want. Then, what do you want? Mahattamantar mahan mukachyuto vidissa karnaayutam eshameva. Ayutam means 1 million. My dear Lord, please give me 1 million years to hear Krishna Katha that is emanating from the lotus mouth of your pure devotees, which are coming from their heart. Right? So, Prabhupada writes that, Maharaj Prithu, he could have easily asked for liberation, but he doesn't want liberation. But he wants 1 million. So, in this regard, Vishwanath Chakravarti comments that because a devotee wants to hear Krishna Katha so much, why he is asking for 1 million years? Sometimes, of course, nowadays, sometimes I come for the class, nowadays I hear only on the radio. But previously, I used to have one lecture on the online from Mayapur TV, another lecture on the radio. So, kiska acha hai, 1 year I used to hear one katha, another year another katha. So when I read this, I was, Hare, aisa hai log, So many nice lectures are going on, So you want to hear all the lectures. But if you sit here, situated in one place, you can't hear some nice lecture going on in Mayapur TV or whatever. So, Maharaj Prithu is asking, give me 1 million years so that I can hear Krishna Katha that is coming from. Then what happens if you hear Krishna Katha? Sa uttama shloka mahan mukachyuto bhavat padambuja sudhakarna lilihi smrutir punar vismrita tattva vatmanam kuyoginam no vitarati alam varaihi. When you sit in front of a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada and hear Krishna Katha, there are saffron dust particles that are emanating from the mouth of Srila Prabhupada. They will fall on you, on us. When those saffron dust particles will fall on us, smritir punar vismrita tattva vatmanam. Prabhupada writes, if anybody who understands that I am eternal servant of Krishna, all his miseries are finished. All his miseries are finished. So that you will regain the remembrance that I am eternal servant of Krishna by hearing from Srila Prabhupada. So same thing now, if you read Prabhupada books, those saffron dust particles will fall on you. And then you will regain your consciousness that you are an eternal servant of Krishna. Naikatmakam, spruniya kechit mat sevaya ichanti madiha ke anyonya bhagavata prasajya savajayante mama paurushani. So Lord Kapila says that those devotees who want to serve me, serve my lotus feet, and always engaged in the activities of devotional service, they don't like to merge with me. Rather, they want to, anyonya bhagavatim prasajya sabhajayante mama paurushyahani. They want to describe my wonderful pastimes all over in the association of devotees. So, devotees, they don't like to merge with this Brahman and all that. So, this is elaborately described in all the purports of Srila Prabhupada. So, we must actually develop the taste for hearing about Krishna. And then Prabhupada, during the last days of Prabhupada, when he was lying down, Prabhupada actually, he was telling to Brahmananda Prabhu that Brahmananda Prabhu, Gargamuni, they are very close to Prabhupada. So, Prabhupada, so actually Prabhupada actually established Rukmini Dwarkadish temple, and then he established elaborate worship of the Lord and all that. Then he wanted to settle down in Los Angeles, and he wanted to finish Srimad Bhagavatam. He wanted to finish Srimad Bhagavatam. Then Prabhupada, somehow or other, some of his disciples, they did sajish, kutantra. So Prabhupada was forced to leave. He was house arrested and all that. He was forced to leave. So Prabhupada gave them punishment, those sannyasis. They are making a prachar that Prabhupada is God. Prabhupada is God and all that. So then Prabhupada went and prayed to Rukmini Dwarkadish that, my dear Lord, why are you kicking me out? I wanted to settle down and write Bhagavatam. I don't want to travel anymore. I just make the ideal temple, Rukmini Dwarkadish. Everybody will come and take the training from here, and then they spread. So Prabhupada wanted, my dear Swamiji, go to Vrindavan. I will give you 1,000 times better temple than this. So when Krishna Balaram temple is finished, every magnificent Krishna Balaram temple. It's a beautiful. Now the temple has become small, But otherwise, during those days, Krishna Balaram temple is a small, best temple. And then, like Gargamuni Prabhu was saying, the credit of development of Vrindavan goes to Srila Prabhupada, because before Prabhupada established Krishna Balaram temple, they used to change the dress once in a month, give plastic garlands. Right? Prabhupada said every day, 2 times, they should change the dress. Every day garland should change. Every day nice ornament should be offered. Because of that, all these Loi Bazaar businessmen became crorodpatis. Like that. एक रुपया से कितना करोड़ है, कितना कमाता है वो लोग. It's all, like that. So Prabhupada, very beautiful worship and all was going on. So everybody was attracted, Krishna Balaram. So then Prabhupada was asking, Brahmananda, do you agree? This is 1,000 times better than Krishna Rukmini Dwarkadish temple. Prabhupada, yes, Prabhupada, it is correct. It is correct. Then somebody asked Prabhupada, one disciple asked, Prabhupada, do pure devotees have anxiety? Prabhupada said, usually pure devotees, they don't have anxiety, but I have one anxiety. Oh, what is your anxiety, Prabhupada? I am just wondering, what is there in Krishna's lunchbox today? Sandesh or laddu or kachori? Then Prabhupada predicted the destiny of all Hare Krishna devotees is to join the picnic of Krishna and Balaram. Right? Krishna and Balaram. So, we should not aspire to merge with, we have to hear wonderful pastimes of Krishna. Prabhupada writes, the greatest pleasure for a devotee is to render service to Krishna and hear about him. Prabhupada said, the greatest service you can do to a pure devotee is to hear from him. Very wonderful pastimes of the Lord. Right? I will finish by saying very wonderful pastime. How Krishna takes care of one servant of Nanda Maharaj's Bhavan, he is narrating this activity. But every day Krishna goes with all his small boyfriends and all. He goes to take care of the calves and then by the time 3-4 o'clock, boys only, so they would come back. So the duty of this servant is to serve snack prasad. Right? Previously, nowadays, people don't have time to eat proper breakfast also. Right? Chalte chalte vada pav kha lete. right? If you go to VT, big officers and all, managers and all, they come down, I used to go, Sir PM Road very frequently for collecting money. I had many donors. So there, there is a shop. One Kala Tamilian, he would make dosa and all that. They say they don't add, salt because बहुत अच्छा है वो पता नहीं कितने पुराना कैसा. If you see all this, they all the lovers of chowmein, chowmein, you can noodles. You can see one video how they are making. Right? This pav also, you know why it got the name pav? Because parents say, anyway, previously people used to eat 4 times. My father is a big engineer, but 4 times we would eat. Morning breakfast, idli dosa or whatever. Then lunch, then he would come for lunch. And then again 4 o'clock, some pakoda or some nasta. And then again, dinner. So we are actually, Krishna is Andhraite, because we in Andhra, we like, we like to eat this curd rice. Then Krishna, during this 4 o'clock breakfast, nasta, Krishna used to like rice mixed with milk and a little sugar put added. So we also used, right? In South India, we used to eat like that. So Andhra habits are there for Krishna. Curd rice, right? Otherwise, North Indians, they don't do curd rice, right? Curd rice with pickle. It's our favorite, In Andhra, curd rice and avakai pachadi. Mango pickle. So Krishna, where do you see Krishna eating that? 13th canto chapter, 10th canto, right? Krishna, when Brahmaji came, Krishna is eating curd rice with pickle. And this servant, he is actually describing that these boys, it is so difficult to feed them because within half an hour they would change 10 places. And they would sit and talk. Aisa, Krishna and Gopas and all, they are discussing today, such a house that happened, such a house, fresh, somebody will come and, inform, give you, Gudachari, inform, hey, such a gopi made a fresh butter. Then they make plans, how to steal and all that. So one day, there is this servant was thinking, very serious discussion was going on. He said, what discussion, There is one boyfriend of Krishna, Toke. The Toke came and told, Krishna, Kanna, Pavitra is going to deliver. Then Krishna said, how do you know? Krishna started giving his ears. Then Toke thought that Krishna is giving so much. When he thought that he had caught the attention of Krishna, he became very proud. I caught the attention of Krishna. Said, how do you know? Said, my mother told me. Just see, if you see, today Pavitra did not come for, didn't go for cow, pasturing. Yeah, Krishna said, that's what I was wondering. Why she didn't come? Oh, like that. Then Krishna called this servant. Hey, Kaka, when is Pavitra delivering? This Kaka could not restrain himself because when Krishna asked, Hare, itna information, mere paas information hai. Then she said, she already delivered. And that calf is as white as crystal, clear, very beautiful. Then he realized his mistake. As soon as Krishna and his friends heard that Pavitra delivered, they left the nasta and they ran. Mother Yashoda is very particular, because Krishna went and worked very hard. He should be fed, nasta properly. She won't tolerate if Krishna doesn't eat nasta properly. Like that. Then Mother Yashoda and Rohini, they came running. Said, where are you going? You didn't finish nasta? Finish nasta. किधर सुनेगा? सब लोग they just ran. Then Ma Yashoda looked angrily at this servant. What happened? ऐसा 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 हो गया. Rascal Buddhu, you don't have, they should have finished, no? Then only you should have informed. Yeah, गलती हो गया. It's your duty to feed them first. Go and feed. इतना बड़ा बड़ा हंडा लेके, गौशाला में किधर लेके जाएगा? Like that. So Krishna ran. Then he saw a very beautiful calf was born. Yeah, beautiful. Then the cow, Pavitra, what she was doing, she was, when the cows, when they deliver the calves, they lick all the contamination. Like that. She is licking. As soon as Pavitra saw Krishna, she stopped licking. Then she came near to Krishna, and then she started smelling Krishna. Then she wanted to lick Krishna. That is, she wanted to lick Krishna. But she restrained herself because her tongue is dirty and all, because she was... So Krishna forcefully pushed her. No, you first lick the calf. Like that. Then again she went, she wanted to lick. Then after some time again she turned towards Krishna, and then she started smelling Krishna. And then she wanted to lick Krishna. Then again she restrained herself. Krishna said, no, first lick your calf. Like that. Then the Pavitra licked the calf, and then when the calf saw Krishna, she also became attracted to Krishna. Then she wanted to get up and then come towards Krishna. But she was not able to stand up because just born. So Krishna was helping the calf to stand up. Then Krishna was saying, don't worry, I am catching. No, stand up. Then stand up. Then somehow she stood. Then Krishna, then she also wanted to smell, she started smelling Krishna. She doesn't want to drink the milk of the cow, her mother, and then she wanted to lick Krishna also. Krishna said, no problem, come. So just imagine the good fortune of Brajavasis. Then even the calves and everything, Krishna takes care. Then after that, this servant fed them all the breakfast nicely and all that. So this is how Krishna, if you take birth in Vrindavan, when we go to Vrindavan, Krishna takes care of all of us. Krishna will, this is how, as soon as you are born in Vrindavan, what you want is, leave everything and become, love Krishna, smell Krishna, be with Krishna. Okay? So we should preach to the people not to get merged with the Brahman and all nonsense. Okay? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Any questions, comments?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much, very nice class. By your talk, you have very nicely devised the statement of Mayavadi concept merging into Supreme, which is according to Vaishnava Sampradaya spiritual society. So I have one doubt I just want to clear. Is Mayavadi and Brahmavadi are the same or different?
No. Mayavadis, they say that Krishna's body is material, but Brahmavadis, they don't say that.
Can you explain more details about?
Mayavadis, Prabhupada says, the soul and the super soul are same, because Prabhupada says that when the soul meditates, when the jiva meditates and then becomes free from material contamination, then there he can go and merge with the Brahman, Supreme Brahman. So then when they say that when Krishna comes, he is described as transcendental, then they say that Krishna's body and activities, birth, they are not transcendental. It's material. They say that they appear in mode of goodness. Brahmavadis, they don't say that. They want to merge with the Brahman, impersonal Brahman, but they don't offend Krishna.
They accept
Huh? They may not, they don't, even though they know Vishnu is there, Vaikuntha is there, like Vasishtha Muni. He is serving Lord Ramchandra, but he is a Brahmavadi. Sarum, but this Brahaspati, he is Devguru, but he is an impersonalist. But they don't offend Krishna, like these Mayavadis.
Okay, thank you.
There is a difference between Brahmavadi and Mayavadi. Okay? Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram.